People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe, whoever you are, wherever you are listening to this. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I'm well aware of you lot in different time zones, but it's morning over here in England. It's about 8 a.m. As you lot can see, I'm still kind of sleepy, but I've had my shower, I've had my cup of tea, so we have to get going, sort of thing. Now, in relation to Arsenal versus Leeds, like I said, towards the end of the week, we'll switch more onto that. And obviously, with me releasing my preview and probably other supporting content, we'll get more into that. But generally speaking, you know, the international break is coming to an end. I know Tuesday and Wednesday, there's a couple of games to be played according to whatever nation. So, you know, players have still got football to be played, but the bulk of them are returning. And we're moving back to, as I said, the Premier League, or focusing on that. And our coach, Arteta, you know, he's had a lot of time to reflect. You know, a day is a long time in football, so imagine just over a week or 10 days or whatever when you've got no fixture. Especially when you lose, it can be the longest thing ever. And I've said this before, I hope Arteta did some soul searching and some self-analysis, because, you know, as much as I like him, I feel there are a lot of positives. You know, he came in last season, no one was talking about his inexperience. He won the FA Cup, he galvanised the fans, you know, he showed some good man management. There are some positives there. Equally, there are some negatives. This season, I would have thought to have seen more of his blueprint quicker. You know, we're defending better, but, you know, we've conceded a decent amount of goals. We're not really scoring. We're not seeing a blueprint overall in the team. And that's compounded by the frustrations that not bringing in certain players as well in the transfer market, to which Arteta has to soldier some of the blame, because he's a manager now. We've been told that he has more say in the transfers, and obviously, you know, I'm not saying it needs to be perfect, I'm just saying building blocks, and we're not seeing that. I did say last season the honeymoon period would go off for Arteta, in that people, obviously, all the things that you see me saying now, I was saying it back then, but people are not focusing on it. Arteta was afforded the it's not his squad, he's just took the job, and all of these other, for want of better words, excuses. That's not there anymore. People are seeing things for all it is. People are getting a bit impatient. He knows this and he has to live with it. And face the music in that regards. It's as simple as that for Arteta. But as I said, one thing is, you know, every manager makes mistakes, and we can't lie. Arteta is going to make mistakes. He's an inexperienced manager. You know, there's things you don't know. That's why I was saying, similar to Edu in his role, can we surround these lot by experience to save them? You know, you're only as strong as your backroom staff. You look at Jurgen Klopp, you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, you even look at Arsene Wenger, you look at Pep. Yeah, they've been fantastic managers, but they've got fantastic people around them. Now, I'm not doubting the credentials of Arteta's coaching staff. I'm just saying, has he got these sort of people around him? We know we've got people that have held positions at Everton and United, people that have held roles in the Welsh FA and done good things at Brentford and things, but are they being knowledgeable and being a yes man are two different things. I don't want yes men. I want knowledgeable people who, if they agree with Arteta, they'll say it, but they open their mouth if they don't believe in it. You know, does he have people that are giving him reasons as to why they think things won't work, or are man just agreeing for the sake of it? And like I said, you know, can he learn fast? Learn from your mistakes fast. Learn from what you're doing wrong. Nip it in the bud. We praised Arteta for finding solutions quickly. You need to find solutions. Managers have to be stubborn, but at the same time, your own stubbornness can cost you. Like I said, I hope he changes things. If he believes in Aubameyang, for instance, left wing right now, Laka through the middle, who am I to tell him anything? But at the same time, you know, logic might say, can you take Lacazette out the firing line until Aubameyang gets his goals again? Because Aubameyang's in equal poor form, but, you know, his CV at Arsenal is stronger than Laka's. Put him back through the middle, bring in Pepe, play Saka on the left. As a manager, you want to do what things you want to do yourself, but also as a manager, sometimes everybody can see something apart from the man involved in the situation. So it's important to take off your own cap and review things. And, you know, I know Arteta has spoken of a meticulous planner and things like that, but his degree of self-awareness and his ability to self-critique himself and see what he's got doing wrong and nip it in the bud early is going to have a huge factor as to whether he is going to be a successful failure. Because like I said, he is a new manager. As a professional manager, this is his first role. He needs to maximise what he's good at, minimise what he's bad at, and like I said, learn quickly, because we haven't got time for much else, you know. He's spoken to Arsenal.com and he said he takes every defeat personally and can find it hard to shake the result off in the immediate aftermath. And that's like the fans, that's no different from anybody. He also, obviously, you lot heard him after our home defeat. He said that we weren't the team we were supposed to be, and how far along are we? He said, When asked on how far along we are, I guess, in terms of the process and just what we want to see as a team, he said, "We're a long way away, I'm afraid. It's part of a process. The results have to be immediate, and the challenge we have with the club we are representing is that we have to win as quickly as possible every game, every competition." Now, I do think fans go overboard, and a lot of fans are going a bit overboard off the Aston Villa game in isolation, but I will say fans are justified, because these things and these rumblings and things people are talking about, yeah, it might be highlighted more when we lose, but these things have been said. Like myself, I said apart from the Fulham game time ago, we've been shaky. You know, we got away with it in the cup against Leicester, we got away with it against West Ham and Sheffield. Luck ran out against Leicester, luck ran out against Aston Villa. We're not starting games convincingly, and whether we've won, lost or draw, whether we've been winning, losing or draw, there's been the same problems. And like he said, we need immediate results, you know. And why I'm even more concerned is because I believe that's why Arteta went with a Willian who's Premier League experience. Why he's not put a Aubameyang through the middle. Why he's gone with Lacazette. Why he's not probably gone with some young players or newly recruits like Saliba, because he wants immediate results. And these immediate experienced players are failing you. And this is what I'm saying, you know, he's got to learn very fast, you know. At the same time, I like how you protect your players, you know. And if you want to use Lacazette, for example, not to scapegoat him, just to paint a picture, use Lacazette. But at what point do you start to look at, you know, he might end up costing you your job indirectly, you know. I want to see a bit more stability in his starting 11, a bit more stability in what we're trying to do game by game. I like that he's open to playing Willian as a false nine, you know. If that's City, that's Raheem Sterling. But like I just said, that's Raheem Sterling. You can do all of those clever little things and people in other roles when you've got players of the intelligence, of the ability, of the consistency that City have. We don't. So to a degree, we have to not that we're outstanding at anything, but I will like Arteta to kind of maximise on things. Don't get it twisted, he has improved us defensively, you know. Not that I'm proud to lose in any game, but Liverpool and City, you know, it's normally a cricket score. You probably can see 10 goals apiece between them two games in previous years. There's a bit more credibility. We still need a lot more improvement. And defending is central to how you play over a 38-game period, as I've said. But same way for me, I do believe to a degree why Arteta needs to fix the obvious errors, while he needs to put his own authority on the team. I do think to a degree you have to work with what you have, you know. When you're allowed to really get people out and things, it is what it is. But I feel we need to meet halfway. We're not going to be a great team defensively, you know. We're going to show improvements. We have shown improvements, you know. We get more men in defensive areas, but we're not going to defend like an Atletico or you know, a great team of a great Italian team of the 80s, because we don't have good defenders, you know. Apart from Tierney and Gabriel, with all due respect, I'm not even trying to get at them. None of these men are out and out defenders, are real quality defenders, really like defending, you know. Our best defenders right now in our squad are probably accidental, you know. Maitland-Niles isn't a right back by instant, by trade, but he's there. Obviously Saliba's not played to be counting him in this, but I'd say Gabriel and Tierney are the only out and out defenders, guys that look good as defending. So we still need to improve and whatnot, but how good can we be? We're never going to be like a top team defensively, because them man there are not natural defenders, not good defenders like that. They're not there in abundance. So while we need to improve and obviously bring man in, can't we focus on what we're good at? Again, I'm not saying just attack. You can see how there's holes, but same way we're trying to defend a little bit and we're getting better. Can we meet our team halfway? Like I said, why we don't need to over focus on defending, because we've seen that we focus too much on defending, dare I say too much on the other team, and we don't have any plans going forward. Can we marry that halfway? Like I said, you have to work with what you have, and you've got some decent attackers. Clearly I'm not the biggest fan of Willian, but you can offer a bit more, and statistically he's creating less chances, which is down to Arteta. It's down to him for bottling, but it's down to Arteta's coaching. It's no coincidence, not a single attacking player is excelling, you know. You've got Lacazette, you've got Aubameyang, you've got Willian, you've got Pepe, you know. Free them up, free the shackles, focus on what you're good at, you know. Klopp, obviously, he had to change the way he played at Liverpool, you know. He was heavy metal. Obviously, if he wanted to win the Premier League and champs like he did, he needed to tailor his approach. They needed to improve their game management. They needed to improve their defending. But you know, and you could see the progress as they slowly started to turn and improve a bit defensively. He's still focused on what the team is good at, you know. Right now the tools I have available to me, it's an attacking thing, and done that, and you know, now you're seeing real balance. But they went there. We're not going to be what Arteta wants us straight away, so we need to meet ourselves halfway, and we need to present a threat to the opposition. You know, Premier League is not a thing. You know, there's rarely going to be games where it's a 1-0 you're holding on sort of thing, or you're going to do a sequence of games like that. It's not sustainable. You look at all the upsets we've seen this season: Leeds getting points off Manchester City, you know, Aston Villa smoking us, Aston Villa beating Liverpool 7-2, and you know, even Leeds giving Liverpool a headache on the first day of the season. You know, why have they done that? Because these teams, obviously they respected the opposition, but they didn't sit back. If Aston Villa sat back, they wouldn't have got anything against Arsenal. You know, I know Leicester sat back and exploited our chances, but 9 times out of 10 these results is because teams are obviously considering the threat the opposition has, but fundamentally having a goal. And if you don't have a goal, you can't win a game of football. You never get the vibe that Arsenal want to have a goal and Arsenal really want to win a game of football, because we don't look like we want to score. No matter what you lot say, the basic premise of football is scoring more goals than your opponent. We don't look like we want to put the ball over the opponent's line in their box, in their goal, ahead of more times than they can do it to us. We never look like we want to score. Whether we start, however we start, finish and end, we don't look like a team that wants to score goals or wants to win a game of football. That's not me saying people want to turn up to lose. That's just me seeing passiveness. And like I said, the players have got to fix up. The players have to recognise in a scenario that I need to take the game by the balls, but at the same time they're listening to what they're being told by the coach. The coach, you know, what they're working on all week and we're seeing on the weekend or the occasional evening game on a Thursday is a byproduct as the hours they've been putting on the training ground. You know, the team reflects the coach. Of course, some men are not worth it. You know, it's not all Arteta's fault, of course, but a team reflects the coach. And one pet peeve for me is I would have thought Arteta would have there'd be more of a blueprint right now. Not perfect, but there'd be more of a blueprint. And I think I was a bit complacent in relation to attacking, because I felt him being Spanish, coming from Barcelona, doing up the Pep Guardiola stuff, you know, being managed by Arsene Wenger, talking about Arsenal's values. I thought the attacking stuff and the things I'm criticising and say it's not there, I thought it would have been a given, people, because, you know, you knew the priority. You know, we couldn't really play good football last year. Arteta got us playing all right. But at the same time, you thought all our issues are defensively. And the way Arteta was speaking, I felt, you know what, it's a given he's going to improve us attackingly. Right now, for these 6 months or whatever he was in charge last season, he's just going to try pattern defensively, get a bit of confidence. With a transfer window and an extended pre-season, we'll see a bit more of a patterns of play and stuff. And you heard me, I was banging on about that. I hope we're going to see that in pre-season. He might have tried, but I think collectively all over this club we've tried to do a lot and done very little. Like, don't get me wrong, the building blocks might be there, but you know, we tried to move off players, bring in whole heap of man. We didn't do our business. There was a lot of changes above us, you know, too little too late to really affect us and help us in the market. You know, we've tried to do a lot and done very little, really and truly. So it is what it is. But in relation to Arteta, he said, he said, so far we've played 14 games in all competitions this season. We've won 10 and lost 4, and 4 of them have been in the Premier League, so it's a little bit imbalanced. So I hope you've reviewed all those Premier League games and saw not just where the players gone wrong and the individuals, but yourself. We hear Arteta makes the players do homework on games and see where they went right and wrong, and he spends an hour or so with the players, you know, individually and collectively as a group, telling them what they did right and wrong. But Arteta, are you doing that? Are you actually what Arteta needs to do is actually seek advice from the players. Do they feel he's delivering his message in the right way? Is the communication levels good? You know, what do they feel about the tactics? Obviously he still has to pick it, but you need to see the sentiment. I feel equally all the things I heard with Arteta, he needs to do Arteta with the players, he needs to do himself as well, really. Like I said, soul searching. Crucially, it's about learning from your mistakes. You know, Arteta hasn't learned from his mistakes. You know, are we still going to see the likes of Willian starting, you know, instead of Pepe, where Willian's exhausted his opportunities so far early in the season? You know, Arteta bigged him up, spoke of Premier League proven and the rest of it, and ready to hit the ground running. You know, he backed up his comments against Fulham. So far, 10 appearances, no goals, 2 assists off the back of 1 game. What is he contributing? And I'm not trying to say to scapegoat him. I'm just saying a lot of these decisions are not making sense right now. He also said there's a lot of things to do in the short and medium term. We've seen a lot of changes, not only on the pitch, but structurally as well. It's been very difficult. It's been a challenging time in the last 3 or 4 months. A lot of things have happened. We have to settle, and everyone has to realise where we are now. But I see the future as really bright. I'm a really positive person, and I tend to learn much more when things don't go well and we have a defeat like this, like we had the other day. That hurt after a performance like we had at Old Trafford, so we was not able to go on a winning run. And, you know, Arteta, for me personally, you've set yourself up, because I'm going to review them comments in a couple weeks, because you have said you learn more from when it's going wrong, you know, and everybody should. You should learn a lot about your players' characters individually and collectively. Like I said, for me, the players are one thing, and it's a given you have to learn from the players, but it's about yourself, because as much as the players have been poor, you know, you've set us up in a negative way, in a way that's contributed to our defeat. If we're losing games like against Chelsea last season, where you set us up perfectly, and there was a couple of times he did that last year, he set us up perfectly, you know, he married the balance between going forward and defending, and the players, you know, last 15 minutes against Chelsea, was it not it could have been Azpilicueta or Jorginho who scored. Definitely Tammy Abraham scored a counter-attack. We threw away the game in the last 15. That's for me on the players, because you've done your job, you know. You lit that game there, you literally did your job. Games this season, as much as I feel the players are poor and things like that, like against Aston Villa and Leicester, you know, I feel Arteta's tactics were poor. I think in those two games, and that's why I'm looking with increased, I don't even know the word, but just increase something against Bielsa, because the in-game management, I think Rodgers and Dean Smith, when they could see the game changing, they reacted very quickly. Arteta was very slow. I look at Bielsa, someone who had Pep Guardiola on the ropes. If you don't react very quickly, if you don't start in the best way, he will pick apart you. And if I'm Leeds and I'm thinking, yo, we gave Leicester we gave Liverpool a good game, you know, they lucky at Anfield to get 3 points, you know, we had City and Pep begging to walk away with a point at Ellen Road. What the hell is at Arsenal? Let's take 3 points off these lot. Let's bully them. Let's carry on the pressures on them, you know. There's a lot of pressure. We go 1-0 down, our players going to sink or swim in that situation, because they're going to have to swim, because come 90 it's going to be gazy. And like he said, for me, he said the future's bright. I believe the future can be bright. How bright it can be with the Kroenkes in charge, I'm not sure. I think Arteta can get it right and try a thing. And for me, I just want something to believe in. Like, I see Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, even Chelsea with Abramovich, Spurs with Jose and the money Levy spent now, you know. I'd say only United and Arsenal are really struggling to have a concept to believe in, you know. I know Chris Wilder at Sheffield's doing wrong, but, you know, he's their lad and whatnot. Maybe Burnley could be thrown into that. But I'd say only Arsenal and United, you're looking at them, you're not really seeing the direction. You don't really know the ambition. Yeah, they talk about top four and both teams want to win leagues and do things, but you don't get it from them. And that's all I want, to be able to look on a Saturday and a Sunday and whatever and have something to buy into. You know, for Arteta, I'm not calling for him to be Pep Guardiola. Yeah, I hope you're a top manager, but I just want to see building blocks so I can say, okay, cool. Not that I'm happy with our form, but I see what you're trying to do here. Right now, I'm looking at it as the players are playing crap. The tactics are looking shaky. I don't really see what anybody's on, really and truly. I don't know what anybody's trying to do. Everybody talks after the game, but I don't really see it, people. So it is what it is. And he also said, we have to understand why it happened, be really critical first of all with myself, and try to understand the players better and give them more solutions to win the football matches. And maybe, I don't know, is Arteta giving too much information to the players? Is he making them do too much? Because I remember Willian's comments, you know, he said that Arteta he's made him play a bit different. As poor as Willian is, are these things harming you? And, you know, you're saying you have to understand the players better. I hear that. It's always a learning curve, but, you know, it's not like we've got 11 new players. The bulk of those players you've been allowed to run the rule over, say who you're keeping and going. So you must know these players. You even got to understand Aubameyang. You had preconceptions when he walked into this club, and now you see he's not like that. So if you're really at this point and you don't really, again, you're always learning, but you really don't understand your players and you're saying things like that, it's very concerning for me, really and truly, because you should know your players. You know, you've been allowed to, again, other factors have contributed, but you've frozen out Mesut, Torreira, Guendouzi. Again, the only thing I get from that is mentality, whether it's Guendouzi's handbags, whether it's Torreira's failing to settle in this country, and obviously the soap opera that is Ozil. You've been allowed to, so you already were able to identify very quickly in relation to your players. Even Maitland-Niles, Mustafi, players that Eddie, players that have been frozen out and come back in, players that have been given chances and then given a healthy kick up the bum. So you do understand your players to a degree. So this is why I'm even more critical of Arteta. I still believe in him. I haven't got no allegiances to Arteta beyond the courtesy of him being an Arsenal manager and having my respect. But I'm not one of these fans that, you know, I'm dying for Arteta to get it right, or I'm dying for him to be sacked. You know, I'm critiquing on a game-by-game basis until one side clearly takes over the other, sort of thing. I just care about my football club. Right now, I think Arteta deserves to hold the position, but, you know, depending on this run of games and how he's moving, we're going to look at it. And it's I want Arsenal to get it right with Arteta purely because I don't want to become the sacking club. We ain't got the Chelsea money or the United money where we can keep paying compensation to managers. We can say to managers, okay, cool, we gave that guy X amount of money, it didn't bang, this is your thing. We can't do that. So I would love to see Arteta get it right. And a club like Arsenal, we pride ourselves on stability, and it's not there at the moment, simply put. So, I hope there's a reaction. I hope there's a fix-up. But Arteta needs to learn from what he's doing as well as the players, And that's why I say you need balance. I never just blame all the players. I never just blame Arteta unless I think it is. It's never just one side. It's never just one side. It's never just the players. It's never just the manager. It's never just the people above him, really and truly. And I think that's why you can't really just pick one side when you speak about Arsenal or things like that. You can attribute blame and critique and praise where applicable, but you get the point, people. So let's see, man. Arteta, I love what you're doing. I like you as a manager. I want you to get it right. But for me as a fan, based on those two results, I just see this as words. You're saying the right thing. I just see it as words. Just show me on Sunday. The boys and you, just show me on Sunday. Just show me something on Sunday. That's it, man. The talking needs to be done on the football field. On that note, though, I'm out of here, man. People, it's always a pleasure. DG.